He hasn't actually played yet, so he's either lost a game or won a game. But the important is that he hasn't lost a single game yet in his entire tournament. Won a player, neither the Ch0cman, so it should be an exciting race, right? And with that, it looks like we're off with our dear highway stage X1 intro. So for the people, I've seen this question a few times already today. 24 Mavericks means we will be doing the 8 Mavericks, so the intro stage and the 8 stages and bosses of every single game, X1, 2, and 3, in the correct chronological order. And Ch0cman actually gets out the correct here. So basically the players, the 8 Mavericks in one game, and then they can turn off their console or emulator and swap over to the next game and do that until they finish the last Maverick in X3. All of this without the end game content of Sigma or Doppler stages. A little bit of extra HP for Kejitsuu. Actually almost fills himself back up all the way to full. And did not kill the Scar, but I'm not sure if he wanted that. He will have to lose a lot of his HP still, though. Ch0cman actually has 4 HP, but I don't think he noticed that. But he'll notice soon enough, as a file will shove his fist right in his face in just a second from now. Hey, catch me! Boom. So, actually, this is somewhat dangerous, although it rarely happens. But we have actually seen it happen where Vile's RNG takes an odd turn, and instead of catching you, he performs an attack. Well, an attack where he like jumps and then we see him kill players on accident. It very rarely happens. But sometimes he does that. Other than that, Vile was pretty kind here. Vile is one of those annoying things about the intro that can waste you a lot of time right at the end of it, completely out of your control. Because he's supposed to grab you right at the end, but if he does a he cages you and he's a little mini hop, but he stays right next to you, that's it's pretty cool. But sometimes you get the outer space Vile, or whatever you want to call it, that's just one name, or the my people need me Vile, where he actually just makes a backwards jump as he cages you, and he just, I don't know, flies off screen, and it feels like you legitimately jumped back to the start of the highway stage and has to walk all the way back. That happens sometimes, not very irregularly either. It really sucks, because it looks like he makes this fairly short jump backwards, but it turns out he actually jumped like 2 screens away, which is something. Yeah, there is no timer on Kejitsuu's stream, so we have opted into simply using Ch0cman's timer for both of them. Kejitsuu didn't put a timer on his stream, so I suppose it may also be that yeah, he has a new PC, so he probably hasn't remade everything for his stream yet, so he didn't have a timer up. However, you do not need to worry about that too much. They did start at the same time, approximately, and there is a timer running on SRL. Excuse me. The runners do need to enter on the SRL live chat in IRC, and there is a bot keeping track of everything. These start slower? Well, they should still be fairly synced, because I saw one of the streams hesitate for a second, and very often we do see that our restreamers try to sync them up properly. Meanwhile, Penguin, very heavy RNG boss. He's not that difficult in the end, but everything he does is like picking RNG and making you react to it. 5-minute flat kill for Ch0cman. Not bad at all. Note mentioning, I was almost forgetting about it again, is that Ch0cman plays on an emulator. Now, nothing bad about playing on an emulator, but the really special thing is that this man plays on a keyboard rather than on a controller, what we're mostly used to for this game. Oh yeah, and as Manix said, yeah, race bot, keeping the track. I do always, when I have SRL chat open, I will give you the official race bot time for boat runners as well. Kejitsuu, a little bit careful here. Good. Oh, 1 HP left on Penguin. Thought he was gonna kill him, but Penguin with the invulnerable slide attack decided to thwart his ideas of destroying him. Ch0cman apparently. So there is another match going on later tonight, which will be between Ch0cman the gamer, who is in the chat, old fatso, and kejitsuu reporting in chat that he may have forgotten to set up his dash input, which could be pretty painful if that is indeed correct. And that means that we already have a giant lead for Ch0cman actually at the start of the game here. And Keji finishes up Chill Penguin. Ch0cman, meanwhile, has gotten Kwanger in his dance pattern. He's now in the safe teleport pattern. Second half of the fight. Boom. Kwanger down at 729. Meaning Ch0cman leaves the Kwanger stage as Keji enters. Why is Boomer done second and not Mandrill? Actually, Mandrill stage with only the ice weapon would be pretty hard and lose you a lot of time. You can kill a lot of the enemies using ice, but you use a multitude of weapons. It would be very difficult to get your Thunder Slimer fast. Whereas in the Boomer Kwanger stage, you can easily get through with just the Buster and a bit of ice. So it's a lot faster on the stage. And Boomer himself is still fairly easy, even if you don't have his weakness. Torpedo on Octopus is only something very late. But Kwanger is actually... Ouch! Keji takes a death on the elevator. That's not one we've seen. Oh, it's a game over. Back to start. That's rather unfortunate. Also, Kwanger is one of the bosses that takes 2 damage from a green shot, whereas most bosses from a green shot will not be taking extra damage. So that means that you can kill him really fast, despite not having his weakness. But it's really mostly that the stage in Mandrill would be really slow with just Buster and Ice. Since a multitude of weapons gets used there. In Mavericks, you don't really need the boomerang, but you definitely use ice, fire wave, tornado are mostly used. Bit of sea sting usually, we think, and then you would need either the sea sting or boomerangs for Thunder Slimer. Ouch, KG taking another death on the elevator. I believe he tried to do the wall jump glitch there, but must have pressed the directional input and did not actually get the glitch where he can just wall jump without taking any damage. Which means that Ch0cman is going into a very, very healthy lead, having already passed the entire chameleon stage even. And now happily on his way to Eagle, passing through this little platform section. Kejitsuu really seems to be throwing off his game. And it seems that he's actually soothsaying at this point. It seems that he's gone back to the start menu to set up his controls again. Make sure that he can actually play the game. And actually opts into a game start rather than a password. I hope he did notice that he is allowed to use the password that Mavericks provided. Meanwhile, Ch0cman is finished up Eagle and we'll be going to Spark Mandrill. Notice that we use the ice shot here. You see that he fires a very early ice shot there at that big enemy, and that enemy has quite a lot of HP to a point where you would say it takes a bit to kill him. However, the ice shot, when it explodes, sends out like 5 ricochets in different directions, and when you fire it ahead of time and then you dash forward, the ice shot could be right inside of the hitbox of the enemy when it spawns on screen, and then both the big shot and the 5 ricochet shots will all hit the big enemy, resulting in a really fast kill of that enemy. And that's how actually a lot of enemies in the speedrun get killed pretty quickly. You have those big blue guys as well on the Eagle stage, use them on the ostriches here. The Ch0cman taking a very strange death here. Probably wanted that HP or something. I don't. What? That was a very strange death there. It did look like he got his jump right. Or maybe he didn't get the dash for his jump and he thought he wouldn't make it and decided to turn around. That was actually more likely it. Ah yeah, you see him in the chat there. Dash please. He didn't get his dash for the dash jump. Ouch, Mike Tyson off the wall. So what actually happens when Mandrill punches at you is, well, mostly it really hurts when you get punched in the face. But when you're clinging to the wall and he punches the wall like that, you actually get thrown off. And it's really painful because X doesn't have that many iframes, so you take damage when you fall off the wall, as well as taking damage when you fall on top of Mandrill, so you get to take damage like twice. And that really results in a whole ton of damage. All in one go. Ch0cman, meanwhile, is opting for a little break, going into Dillo stage. Can go along the entire stage and get to a couple of cart rides where he can leave his hands to rest a little bit. I did mention before, he plays on the keyboard. Personally, I find it difficult to play games like this on the keyboard. It makes my hands hurt. So, props to Ch0cman for playing on the keyboard. And meanwhile, kejitsuu has found the holy grail of speedrunning in a tournament called the password screen. He has meanwhile gotten the message that he is allowed to use that within the tournament setting. That said, by rules, you are not allowed to use the password to get back to where you were in the speedrun that is being done for the leaderboards. So I suppose that you would PB. With a situation like that, it's not allowed by the rules. However, like here in a tournament setting, it's okay, because otherwise wrong stage selects and the like are way too painful. Ch0cman getting quite a few rolls there, but after Dillo's armor was already shot off, means that you can still pile all the damage into him, and it's okay. kejitsuu now clearly much more comfortable as he can actually dash around. It is indeed quite a challenge to play this game dashless. And actually, perhaps worth mentioning in between, there is another person in the group of these two runners, Ch0cman. And Sopa at some point made it into a thing to play this game dashless. And I do believe he finished the game dashless both any percent and 100%. And yes, you can in fact unbound your dash button, and then you just need to be careful that you do not do a double tap dash. That's the only thing. But you can legitimately finish this entire game without dash. And yes, I think it's great that Sopa did that, but no, I wouldn't like to do it after. Ouch. We're smacking KG around. Be nice, Goanger, he's already so far behind due to all of those issues. Oh, Ch0cman having a little close encounter with those spikes over there. Should probably be a little bit careful and has to fight this mini boss again. KG not again. That's 1 HP on Goanger. This is so unfortunate. That's exactly the same thing that happened with Penguin also being 1 HP. Okay, Ch0cman past the burrows now. Now, it could be, I don't know if Ch0cman picked up an extra health anywhere, but in the worst case scenario, if he gets like infinite grabbed right now, then there is actually a potential chance that he gets a game over and gets to go all the way back to the start of the stage. Come on, Octo, you can do it. You can do it. Ch0cman really getting a lot of damage here, but it seems to be fairly calculated, and he's through it. Yeah, I'm not sure how it should be saying your name, Zaid, I think. Most runners actually put their dash on L or R. I believe R dash is the most common for X1, but yeah, there's a couple different ones. Some people use L, but mostly the shoulder buttons are getting used for dash. It's just a lot easier to use. Personally, as a kid, I also fat dumped everything, but when I tried to speedrun this game, it's absolutely terrible. Ch0cman, meanwhile, in the Mammoth stage. Not everyone's favorite, but for me personally, a favorite in terms of music. And you have this little hallway with conveyor belts. These conveyor belts, even though the animation isn't super clear as we zoom through there, do actually either hinder or boost your movement, depending on whether they go in the direction you are going or not. That is also very specific how you move on there. If they go in the right direction, which is to the right, then you really want to dash over them and get like double movement speed. Where if they are going towards the left and against you, then you just try to dash jump over them. And actually, if you dash jump over them, it doesn't really hinder you. And we see Mammoth going down on Ch0cman's end, and that means that we do get to pass on to X2. He does have to wait 30 seconds to move on to X2. These are the rules because you need to give people on a console time to set up their controls and everything. So as to not give people in an emulator an unfair advantage, there is a rule that you need to wait 30 seconds at least. If you're trying to get a Buster upgrade, I would say yes, there is advice, but perhaps we should also ask you in which game you're trying to get it, X1 or one of the other two. Ch0cman arriving at the CFO fight. Keji, meanwhile, smashing a load of flies into enemies as he moves through the Eagle stage. Ch0cman clearly very excited about his X1 run today. And Batman's, if you're trying to get the Buster upgrade in X1 in the Mammoth stage, I'm assuming that you know where it is, with those blocks halfway the stage. Just, you do your dash jump up there to those blocks, and if you get up there, just mash jump. Mash jump. And it might look pointless, but at some point, I believe you will get the right pixel or whatever it is. And you will start breaking the blocks in the good direction. And normally if you just mash jump, you will always get through there. Because I know sometimes if you try to break the blocks and you're trying to be professional about it, then there is a chance that you will fall off. Just mash jump, you'll be fine. Meanwhile, Keji getting some eagle dives, but finishes the fight nice and clean. Oh, yes, you do need the helmet upgrade for that. Excuse me. Otherwise, it will take you a pretty long time to break those blocks. Well, very long, in fact. Ch0cman into the sponge fight. We are looking to see if we can dodge his anger phase. When he is at 10 HP, and on the floor, he will get angry, and nice! Ch0cman getting very good RNG here. If he does at 10 HP or lower and he hits the ground, he will become angry and start a really big and long animation where you cannot hurt him. Fires a big attack at you. Kejitsuu getting hit by a searchlight. Actually, one of the enemies that we talk less about as we do well, fairly easily kill them. A single shot kills these searchlight enemies. But they're still kind of nasty if you're, well, not prepared for them. If you would be like a first timer in this game, they could quite easily stop you there, give you a hit, and have you fall down into the pit or something like that. Or just keep you chain locked as a new one keeps popping up every time that you jump through. Ch0cman, meanwhile, picking up the Buster upgrade for X2 here in the Gator stage. Heavily required for both the Charged Burner and the Charged Chain Strike. As Keji trying to get the heart here, but decides he's not getting it after all. The worst enemy in a casual run. So, oh, Keji taking a death to a searchlight. That is unfortunate. Ch0cman, meanwhile, navigating his way to the Dino Tank. Excuse me if I mess up words, but it's getting a bit late and I am clearly starting to mess up some stuff that I'm saying. Whew. Oh, look at that. Jumps all the way up to the heart now. Decided to try again as he was passing by here anyway. Ch0cman going for the stun lock. Doing a good job on that stun lock. Boom! Gator down. Easy peasy. Capcom, please nerf. It's already only a 1 HP searchlight. Just flying over the screen in the sad pattern. So Keji is now up against the Spark Mandrill. And seems to be taking it easy. He does not want to take any risks. We'll just delay his shot slightly, but make sure that he can keep him in a frozen pattern with 0 risk. If you do actually chain your hits a little bit faster, Mandrill always has some time to move. So the way that he performed the fight here actually gives him a much bigger guarantee that nothing's gonna go wrong. Meanwhile, Ch0cman was put through an entire series of events and will now be entering a volcanic landscape, true home of the stag. As Keji is preparing for his fight with the extinct mammoth. And with Ch0cman here, in the stack stage, you really have to be a bit careful because in the volcano itself, you're generally not at a super high risk, but if you're too slow climbing on the vertical parts, then the lava will actually be chasing you from down below, trying to erupt from the volcano. So you really don't want to hesitate too much climbing up. Ch0cman doing a pretty good fight. And Stag going right down. Oh, Jesus. 1 second, please. Right, excuse me. I don't know what that was, but it felt like something was stuck in my throat and disabled me from properly talking. So I drink. So Ch0cman here in Centipede stage. Lots of moving blocks here. It's actually pretty scary if you don't know where they're at, because you might just get crushed or squished between a couple Lego blocks while you're going. If you thought Lego blocks were absolutely from hell when you step on one in your house, try getting crushed by 2 of them in the stage. There is a super annoying mini boss tree. You can actually insta-kill him with that charged strike chain, but if you don't get the quick kill, it can kind of make a lot of annoying and waste a lot of your time. Yet another mini boss on the stage. And runners are actually trained to always have exactly 1 ammo here, and you will see that this is good view there, because they will use a charge burner to make 1 faster movement right there after the mini boss, and usually they will do the burner and then take a dash jump forward, and the next dash will be under that those 2 big blocks. But if performed correctly, they will actually dash. Sorry, not dash. Zip under the first block. It's a mini zip. We don't have any big zips like in some of the classic Mega Mans, but some smaller ones may occur. We also have them in X1, like for example in the Mammoth stage. And meanwhile, Ch0cman got a little bit poisoned by a centipede. Just a little bit. Just now at the mercy whatever RNG centipede is giving him, and finishes him off with strike chain. Kejitsuu meanwhile has arrived at Dillo. You know, that actually had the potential to be a double kill. That would have been rather painful if that was his 3rd Maverick he had to do over with a 1 HP fight. But he made it. 1 HP and 1 ammo left, that's all you need. A very calculated fight, that's for sure. With that, KG will actually be moving on to his final Maverick for X1, as Ch0cman moves on to Snail in X2. I do not believe that we currently have any commentators for this race in another language specifically, but it's worth mentioning that Speed Gaming has a couple channels in other languages. These are Speed Gaming Espanol, Speed Gaming. Ooh, Ch0cman crushed by an ice block. I mean, there could be worse deaths. It's been so hot in the past few days, so that ice just looked really yummy. I mean, it's been 40 degrees here the other day. I can understand wanting to take a closer look at that block of ice right now. Still, a little time waste, but nothing too bad. Wow, Mavericks, really? The 3 channels that Speed Gaming does have are Speed Gaming Espanol, Speed Gaming Français, and Speed Gaming Deutsch. In case you didn't get what the languages were, it would be Spanish, French, and German. Speed Gaming Revenge Shop, right? It's a very special channel. It's only for very hot days. We sell ice cream there. KG fighting Octo. Taking nice dodges there on all those projectiles. and actually gets a pretty good pattern here. Octopus can be really dangerous, but if you're low on HP, you kind of want him to do energy drains because, you know, in that pattern, as long as you dash away from the actual drain, he is quite harmless. Now, the biggest test of X2 at all. Can you ride a bike, or can you not? And meanwhile, KG himself has made it all the way to X2. And he himself is also very happy with that. Don't worry, KG, keep it up, man. If Ch0cman has like, I don't know, 2 or 3 game overs, you might still catch up. Or if, I don't know, if his keyboard breaks or something. It's gonna be something required for you to catch up on this one. Don't want to take your hopes though. Keep them alive. As long as he's not finished, you can still catch up. For sure. So also, I know I've trolled about it a couple times. You see Ch0cman riding up on that missile there, and you would think, wow, look at all that mashing. You know, it's not. That's actually a cinematic. Players don't actually mash that fast. And Ch0cman doing the hot and cold strat, where you actually swap between Buster and the ice weapon. Actually know the official name for the weapon here. You basically shoot ice cubes. People. Mavericks, rather. And you do a Buster shot and then swap into the ice shot for another hit. So you actually do 2 hits in like 1 second. It's pretty cool. My main is X7. Can someone ban this guy, please? My main is Mega Man Soccer. God. Oh, wow, Julian takes the cake. My main is Mega Man DOS. I am a fan of you, sir. I have seen people speedrun MMX DOS version, which is, yes, indeed, a thing. Because there is indeed a DOS version of the Mega Man X1. I'm not sure if it does DOS version for X2 and X3. Oops. KG misses the elevator. Luckily there's another one right behind him. But the DOS version is it's something, but I like the music. That's for sure. So KG facing some bad weather. You'd preferably have it to be clear weather, but you know, gotta take what you can with the weather, right? And with that, synchronize the boss doors, just a few stages apart. That's all. More synchronized boss doors. One of them going to Sponge and the other to Mr. Crab. I never get bubbles. Oh wait, no, that's still key. You actually have to be a little bit careful about tanking too much damage on Crab. But Ch0cman handles it just fine. It's KG. It's quite a lot of HP to go. Forces the Angry Sponge. No good RNG there. Ooh. Takes an extra Sponge hit to the head. Oh, Sponge blocking all of his shots. Oh, and he gets another Angry Sponge. Oh, gosh. And there we go. I've actually not seen a boss fight before on Sponge where he goes angry twice. It was the first time for me. And I see our little speed gaming bot there actually just gave you guys a link to the tournament VODs. If you do want to re-watch any of the races that have previously happened, or if you're particularly interested in one of our runners, then you can always check out that link. I saw that Ch0cman earlier was hard at work getting all of the highlights of the tournament races up. This is all volunteer work. So good job to Ch0cman if you see him around. Give that man a thumbs up or some bits if that's what you're into. And KG is now going to pick up his Buster upgrade in the Gator stage. Actually very nice getting me up there. And fight another robot in the garbage pile that leads up to Moth. Kills the little alien mob. And we'll be going into the boss fight now. KG nicely using the charge strike chain actually to move around. Something I see a lot of runners not always use instantly, but he definitely does that. And Ch0cman being careful with this. Actually made a little error here and did not properly bypass the laggy phases of the fight. You can actually do a specific set of attacks so you dodge all of the laggy attacks. But that actually finishes up mod for Ch0cman, and that was his last Maverick for X2. So he's actually putting on a pretty good time here. And that means he's allowed to start on X3. And while he is bored going through the menu, he is apparently sending us some memes in the chat. Although I am not sure what a Malukuliao % is. Someone wants to explain it to me, feel free to. Meanwhile, KG doing Gator. Gator has ran away from the fight. Which this is one thing that you get with the strike chain. I do believe that when you fight him with a Buster, you will not keep going underwater like that. But it's obviously slower than keeping him stun locked. Ouch, was a little bit too early. And Gator disappears underwater again. And Gator down. Ch0cman, meanwhile, getting captured by Mac. I have no clue who this character is, honestly. He shows up at the intro stage, he gets killed in the intro stage. Sorry, spoilers for in about 30 seconds from now. Honestly, no clue who he is. But perhaps there used to be a little book when you bought the game with the lore in it and who Mac is. If only you guys spoke a language I understand. Alright, Mag down. Zero breaks the prison that holds X, and with that he can... You get control back of X and you can go on to fight Mao the Giant. Pretty good boss. Just stands there and tries to punch you. Pretty cool. Some pretty big fists, it's not so easy to dodge them. On the other hand though, I think that is pretty well designed for a boss fight, if I have to give my opinion, because you know, it really shows you like, if you were to be a new player, look, you can get attacked and you gotta be careful dodge stuff if you really want to live. But at the same time, it's also not very punishing. It's a really good intro boss because it's big and mean, but it also doesn't deal any damage, so it's still fairly easy. So it's really good for an intro. KG tried to climb up here in the volcano, but running into some flames. You can speak le français. Okay. It's not my favorite language, but unfortunately I do speak it a little bit. KG now up for the stag duel. Will not initiate in the height duel where you climb up with him, but rather prefers to keep it low on the ground. And Ch0cman, meanwhile, in the Blizzard Buffalo stage, is getting a whole lot of speed on these slopes with the ice physics. Goes really fast. And we need like 1 or 2 more hits. Well, I thought he had him there, but apparently I saw that. Meanwhile, Ch0cman gets dance. But no big deal. Jumps over the gap and gets to the air dash capsule. This air dash capsule, wow, speaking this word, this air dash capsule is actually optional. You don't have to get it. You can perfectly play X3 without it, but it's definitely a whole lot easier to actually bring it along. Yeah, no Sopa Slam for me. How unfortunate. So, and then with Ch0cman here, you will see Blizzard Buffalo. This boss is a line of sight, and as long as you do not die after the mid-boss room in this stage, he actually tends to not perform any, but this is already rare. We see that he has moved away from the wall, and he's currently actually attacking Ch0cman. And as I was focused on that, I see that KG got crushed by a Lego block or 2, which is rather unfortunate. That is no death I would wish upon anyone. But sadly, the blocks show no mercy. And he uses this charged strike chain. Let's see if he can get the one shot on the boss. Unfortunately not. And Ch0cman, meanwhile, has entered the stage of Toxic Seahorse. There we already seen him immediately using the air dash. You can see it's actually really good for climbing sections. Otherwise it would be a lot more difficult with climbing without it. KG finishes off the last mini boss and actually gets an ammo refill. Look at that. Let's take an extra hit here, but can't safely move into Centipede. Although he does not have too much HP, so probably would have to be a little bit careful. Ch0cman finishes the Seahorse mini boss. What are the rules for 24 Mavericks? You have to play X1, 2, and 3 in that order specifically. KG gets good G, but doesn't keep the tailspin going. Unfortunately, it's taken out by Centipede. Luckily, he has enough lives to start right over. So the rules for 24 Mavericks are basically that you have to defeat all of the 24 Mavericks in X1, 2, and 3, and the games must be played correctly. So you will start with X1, finish all of the 8 Mavericks in any order that you want, You can take any upgrades that you want. You can use any glitches that you want. Pretty much anything is allowed. Sub tanks, hard tanks. Not like you specifically have to do low percent. And then after game 1 is finished, you go to game 2, game 3. You do not play any of the late games, just the bosses. And as soon as the final hit is landed on the last boss on X3, the timer ends. Ch0cman with a little weapon get screen coming up. Better speed game X3 or X2? Well, it kind of depends on what you personally prefer, I guess. Personally, I don't know. I didn't speedrun either one. I only speedran X1, and well, it's mostly personal preference. You would have to say which game you like better, and then have your go at it. And yeah, indeed X2 does have a lot of speed attack with the charged burner and the strike chain, so it has some interesting movement, that's for sure. X1 Hundo would probably be the easiest out of the 3 games and categories. Ouch! KG taking a page of the Ch0cman's whipping it crushed by a block of ice. Ouch, and it's actually game over, so you will have to start over from the start of the stage. As Ch0cman progresses to the stage of Tunnel Way, you know, from that famous song they made about it. Now this mini boss for Ch0cman mostly gets killed pretty quickly by simply you go and stand inside the boss's hitbox and then you just, you know, mash him down. And KG actually there does not want anything to do anymore with that ice block, climbs up all the way on the ladder to avoid it. I mean, I can't really blame him. Better say, oh, Ch0cman, my boy, did your mom not tell you that it's dangerous to have big rocks falling on your head? I guess not, or you would have dodged that one. So reminder, if you see a big rock falling for your head, guys, try to dodge it. It's really not good for your health. I mean, your doctor might appreciate it once he sends you the bill, but... And KG actually showing off the cooler snail fight. There is in fact a quick kill, but be careful, dude. But I think it's personally a lot cooler to not do the quick kill, and when you just get to kick a shell around and throw a bunch of mines at him. You want to hear all the furious key clicks of his keyboard. I have to say that something that is cool about speedrunning in general. Oh, Ch0cman! Ch0cman! Oh boy, he is not having a good time right now. Taking another death there right at the end. Dodged the block this time, but got struck by the machine right after. Giving KG a little bit of a catch up there. Keeping the dreams alive. And, KG actually about to go and do a little bike ride. Super fast. Ouch, KG crashes the bike. Whatever, I like going on foot anyway. Ch0cman being a little bit careful about this now. There's a lot more HP than before, can take an extra hit, and is now going to Tunnel Rhino himself, the boss. However, we do usually see Tunnel Rhino does not shoot a lot of drills at you or anything, and he just kind of like charges left and right from wall to wall. But as Ch0cman did die in the stage, we should, I believe, be seeing Tunnel Rhino's other attacks. Like this one. Email KG fighting Ostrich. Oof, Ch0cman with 1 HP. Imagine if he had died and game overed or something. That would have been something. Yeah, Ch0cman is currently on X3 and KG is on X2. For people who came in a little bit late into the race, KG unfortunately started X1, finished Penguin, and then came to the conclusion that he forgot to set up his dash button. So he wasn't aware of the rule that he could password back in, so he reset his console, he set up his dash, went all the way through the intro stage when we finally got word to him that he could use the password. After which he reset his console again to put up the right controls, but then password to Gowanger. By that time, Ch0cman ran out, like, I believe, by 3 stages or so. Also, I could sing, but I don't think that would be a good idea for anyone. Having to listen to that. Ch0cman having a little bit of issues with that worm tunneling around, so did not want to eat his ice shots. But he got it. KG on his way to Crablows. Yeah, I do have to say that I believe I once saw someone play X3 on the PlayStation, and it was very, very weird to listen to that. KG now on to Crablows. Doing a pretty good job though, it's taking a lot of HP. Probably have to be a little bit careful. 1 HP. Honestly, I do have to say that we have seen so many fights, Maverick fights, and on 1 HP today. It's crazy. And Ch0cman game overs against Bit in the Tiger stage. What a day. What a time to be alive. There is death and destruction everywhere. We've seen game overs on both ends. This is the best race I could wish for. What a game, dude. What a game. So KG having finished up the crab is now going on his way to Mod. Oh, I did not look at the stage select screen, but I'm going to assume that this will be his final Maverick for X2. I mean, to be fair, it's a lot more amusing. As I always say to people who do speedruns, I think it's a lot funnier to see a run die in new and original ways compared to seeing an actual like world record run or something. Because when someone's getting close to world record or I don't know what, or really good PB, everyone gets so nervous and it's like, oh my god, hold your breath and everything. Whereas, you know, it's like serious mode and, you know, runs dying in like the most stupid ways is kind of funny. So as far as entertainment value goes, yes. I do think that it's the best rule. Ch0cman. Ch0cman. Okay, you made it. When I saw that one shot chase him around again, I was scared he would die again. Yeah, see, that's what I think. It can be a lot more fun to see things go wrong. Not that I hate runners or anything, of course I want everyone to get good PBs and whatnot, but... Oh, KG! That wasn't a big rock, it was a small rock, but small rocks can hurt too, as he just found out. Now I have to start the mod fight over. And Ch0cman, meanwhile, gets to deal with a big angry tiger. Ch0cman on 3 HP has to be a little bit careful that he doesn't have any run-ins with Tiger. So let's spray that the keyboard of his holds on. Another charge slash. Wow, this RNG, please, Tiger. KG. No. Oh. Oh. I do believe he's out of burner, so he's gonna have to do a buster only if I would moth. Although that's generally not very fun, so we'll have to see how he does on that. Bunch of junk flying all around the arena. Yeah, meanwhile Ch0cman, if I'm not mistaken, has entered the catfish stage. And KG is actually doing... Ooh, that one hurt. One more hit, do it! Oh, whew. You made it! What a guy. I was actually a little bit scared there because I don't think he has a lot more lives left. And he has not yet reset his game, so I guess I was mistaken about this being his final boss for X2. Actually, that's a very long black screen, so perhaps, yeah, he did actually swap to X3. That wasn't his last boss. See, I wasn't wrong. Ouch. Yeah, getting a game off on the mod stage would be pretty painful. If it makes you feel better, I am a very stubborn man, and there was a day where I started speedrunning X1 any percent. As you all know, X1 any percent compared to 100% is a fair amount more brutal. And I said if I do any percent, I will do low percent or I won't play it. I can tell you, game overing on Sigma 3 is quite a time loss. Especially if you game over twice on it. Let me tell you, if you don't know how to fight D-Rex, yeah. Anyway, Ch0cman gets to kill Catfish, and KG has caught up to being in the same game as Ch0cman. Still on the chase, tailing him. And meanwhile, Ch0cman giving us a little update on the splits. Currently plus 7 minutes on his PB. That's alright. I mean, it could be worse. Could be plus 7 hours. Yeah, yes, I'm aware, but I hadn't done much practice at that given time, and didn't understand quite the mechanics of how D-Rex worked and moved. It was pretty funny seeing, like, I don't know, a 10-minute Sigma 3 split or something. Yeah. Ch0cman is now gonna tilt the entire screen. As he blasts that thing open. And KG gets to fight Mao the Giant. Big fat punches. You know, such giant fists punching a little guy, and it deals like 1 damage. Don't worry, the first little enemy you will run into deals like 5 on body contact. Ch0cman getting a very nice smash in. Good, Alright, actually finishes the fight nicely. Seemed to be knowing what he was doing. I was a little bit worried when he got grabbed and that he wouldn't go for the weakness again into Buster Mash. Good job on the disaster, dude. Thanks, I would say. That Ch0cman will be moving on to Gravity Beetle. Yeah, no butt slams. We've seen enough butt slams for one day. We've already learned from another run today that butts are dangerous. So we have to try and learn something new from this run. I think from this run on Ch0cman, we've actually learned that big giant rocks falling down in a cave are also dangerous. That's 2 important things we've learned today. So KG looking to pick up the air dash, but just short on that jump there. Does make it over on the first try. First try, second attempt. What a guy, this KG. All that first try. And Ch0cman arrives at the Gravity Beetle, which is a very, very, very difficult boss with its weakness. Hop. 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 I'm pretty sure that Pokemon based Slowpoke off of this guy. Something. And KG abusing the line of thing on Buffalo. Yeah, I know it's a difficult boss when you're buster only. That's for sure. I know the Gravity Beetle, when you do not have his weakness, becomes quite difficult. Ooh, KG, we can. Oh, well, that's crushed against the wall. Saw that coming a mile away. Just drags you along the cave the entire way to just like. All that's left of X is a heap of scrap metal. Just like Faha predicted in the intro of X1. We've seen actually quite a couple of these amazing. Keep it around my head. These amazing kills from the Mavericks. You know, Stag with that slam dunk on Sopa. KG getting dragged along the entire route to get crushed against the wall. These are quite something. Ch0cman doing his best with this pretty elusive boss here. Does a good job and finishes it off pretty quickly. It sure was. And Ch0cman is actually moving on to the final Maverick here. This is the Hornet stage, where every single runner so far has actually finished X3 on. And oh, we still had to do bite over on Ch0cman's end. I did not realize we had missed bite still. So we will be using the drills here. Ouch. When bite actually gets a hang at you, it's really painful. He does give you that the good old double slam with that big arm of his. KG picking up some extra HP just to be sure he's gonna be fine, and Ch0cman abusing the ice shot feature. When you actually kill any enemy on the ground using an ice shot like that, it's guaranteed to give you a health drop. If you kill a ground enemy with the acid, then it's guaranteed to give you an ammo drop. Whether they are big or small drops is RNG, but you are guaranteed the health or ammo. And then here, spinning blades to kill Hornet. His true weakness is actually the gravity wall from Beetle. But that gives him a lot more iframes, so it's actually faster to just use spinning blades. And that is a finish for Ch0cman, who finishes with an official race ball time of 1 hour, 13 minutes and 27 seconds. GG to the chalk. The chalk. You get parasitic bomb. If you get that, you know it's over. KG meanwhile has arrived at the Toxic Seahorse and does some really nice smashing on it. Oh, almost had a 2-cycle on it. That was really nice. Okay, it does appear that we are going to be lacking a bit of sound here, as we went to swap over to KG, but we're not able to pick up on this music, on this game audio. We will be moving on to Tunnel Rhino, third boss for the game. If you're interested in more MMX 24 Mavericks tournament, we will later today have another match between Colonel Fatso and wait, I need to cheat here. So Colonel Fatso and Ch0cman the Gamer, also on Speed Gaming 2. When we are finished here, that should be in about an hour and a half or something. I believe in about 2 hours from now. And it will be Ch0cman the Gamer versus Colonel Fatso. Commentary by Mellow Flows and Tinto27. After that, we will be done for the day, and tomorrow at 11 AM EDT would be FS Links versus Techi, which will be commentated by currently no one, which could potentially turn into me, but we will see. Meanwhile, KG is getting the bit fight, finishes him off with a buster shot to make sure that he does not get an explosion. Meanwhile, I want to get some links on your screen, guys. We do have a bunch of stuff around the MMX tournament. You can see the bracket there on challenge. There's the schedule. The schedule is continuously updated as the runners do have to talk to each other to schedule matches. So if you want to see upcoming matches, you can find them there. VODs are found on the last link. There is a volunteer usually getting highlights from all the games, including this one later on. I saw that today Techi was working on it. I'm not sure if he's the only one. There are more people doing that. But thank you to those guys for fixing all that up for us. We also have two runners right now, which are kejitsuu and Ch0cman. So it is always appreciated if you want to follow to the runners. They do put a lot of their time into this, after all. KJ. Be careful, dude. Jeez. Ooh, he's at 2 HP and now at 0. Well, that is rather unfortunate. Anyways, I was going through links. We also have the general speed gaming schedule, of course. It shows the 24 Mavericks tournament schedule, as well as all the streams on all the speed gaming channels. Be noted that we are on speed gaming 2, but we have speed gaming main channel and then 2 to 6, and I believe that I heard today that there is even speed gaming 7, which is the first time I hear of that. Check it yet, but you can always take a look at that. Follow it too if you so wish. And then of course that's for the specific languages in speed gaming: Espanol, Deutsch, and Francais. Those are not always being used, but in case that we have the option of sending in a commentator that can do a specific language for commentary, then those channels may get used and you can listen to commentary in your very own language. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? and I'll just give you a hint. The right answer is no, Draco. That's not the coolest thing is listening to you. I am a very humble comment. Yes, it is true. So, KG now up against Tunnel Rhino. Ooh, oh yeah. Okay, apparently I missed something because it would appear that we have all the attacks unlocked from Tunnel Rhino. So I must have... Oh, what am I kidding? I'm not blind. I did see that kill. That's the death, I mean, KG. Oh, actually what happened there is the same as I saw one with Mandrill. If you are actually on a wall and Mandrill punches the wall, he knocks you off and you fall down. The same thing happens with Tunnel Rhino. When he hits the wall like that in the charge and you're on the wall, then he will knock you off and you take second hit. Oh. And I see in the SRL chat that KG has forfeited from the race, as Ch0cman did finish a little while ago, and I suppose it was quite a long run after all of the early issues that he had there. Bit unfortunate, but you know, that can happen. You know, missing something in your controls setup, so all runners be warned to double check your controls before you go in, because it's gonna take you all the way to the midway of Penguin before you figure it out that it's wrong. It's pretty painful having to set back up then. And yeah, KG, that's the idea. But I guess that concludes today's race with Ch0cman in first place. And actually, when I take a look at the challenge here, that means that Ch0cman is the big winner of Group G, who will be advancing to the brackets. He's the only person there that's done all of his races, and he won all of them. The other three runners are KG, we have here, Sopanama and Casio third, and all of them have taken a one loss from Ch0cman, man himself. I see that we will not really be doing interviews, so I'm gonna start looking to round it up here, because there is, I believe, a Celeste speedrun race coming up soon right here on this channel, so if you're interested in that, stick around. To have an extra rundown of everything, you have the runners here. Feel free to follow the runners for bringing all the content. Oh, sure, KG, if you want, you can come on in. We do not have too much time though, but want to. In any case, you can find everything on MMX here: the schedule, the bracket, the VODs. You can find the schedule of the entire speed gaming as a whole here on all of their different channels. You can follow the runners if you so want. If I stream sometimes, but not that often, and recently definitely not speedruns. But that is my Twitch if you want it. And with that, I'd really like to thank our runners. I want to thank the speed gaming crew in the background for helping us set up every day and organize all of this stuff. I'd like to thank everyone for watching today. We have another run, X run, coming up in about 2 hours after the Celeste run, so if you're interested, stick around for that. That is True on the Gamer versus Colonel Fatso. Yeah, I think that's most of it, unless I forgot something, and if I did, excuse me. I am gonna round up now, because I do believe that we will see the Celeste crew popping up soon. And I will see you guys Probably not in 2 hours because I bet I'll be sleeping, but probably tomorrow. So have fun with the Fata versus Druon race, and good night.